it's me, it's CGB, and today's video is sponsored by Shadowverse. Shadowverse is a fun anime-themed card game with a depth of strategic gameplay beyond what I expected. The economy is super generous. I was able to make a top-tier deck without putting a dime into the game on day one. All new players get to unlock a copy of every legendary card in the game for a limited time and battle with them. Shadowverse is available to download for free on mobile and PC, and since I can get this on my iPhone, Shadowverse is my game of choice when I am on the go. One of my favorite features about Shadowverse is the practice mode, where I can test my deck against a wide variety of AI opponents before taking it on the ladder to see what happens. The AI play reasonably well enough, and I always feel challenged. Please check out the link in the description to download the game. It would really help me out, and I sincerely do think that many of you will really enjoy Shadowverse. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are checking out an Esper Dance of the Manse deck, and it is competitive. Certified spike ladder mythic material, courtesy of Brian Gottlieb of the Arena Decklist podcast and Twitter account. The Arena Decklist podcast is a weekly podcast about competitive Magic. It is my favorite podcast that is out there. Apologies to the brothers who bash and pro points to other podcasts I enjoy a lot, but to me, the go-to for what is going on in Magic is the Arena Decklist podcast. I'm not sponsored. In fact, you could say I sponsor them. I'm a subscriber to their Patreon. And I only have, I think, five things I support on Patreon, so I hope that this comes as a full endorsement. I'm even wearing my Arena Decklist pin, which was sent to me by the Brian Gottlieb for a little showdown we had in fandom. Some of you might remember it was an awkward showdown because his internet was wonky and he kept disconnecting. So it made the viewing experience tough. He apologized with this pin, which I appreciate. It means a lot to me. And anyway, Brian Gottlieb won fandom, the week 1 tournament with the new cards with this Esper Dance of the Manse deck. I've only made a few tiny changes. There were 3 thought erasures. I went up to 4. There was 3 Dance of the Manses. I went to 2. There was something that I put in the sideboard, a Dovin's Veto. I put a Dovin's Veto in the sideboard, and I added Fate of Wishes to the main deck to access the sideboard in Best of 1, which is my preferred format. So a few minor changes. You can find the original deck list on Brian Gottlieb's Twitter, on the Arena Decklist Twitter account. So check those out if you need to. And I love this deck. So my blue-white Dance of the Manse deck was amazing, but it didn't have all of the answers, and it was missing a key piece. That key piece, I believe, is Doom Foretold. This card with Dance of the Manse is nuts. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. That is a key clause that everybody forgets. They think they can sacrifice their token. They think they can sacrifice their land. They can't. If the opponent has a Nissa and a land that it animated, they have to sacrifice the Nissa. If that opponent can't, they discard a card. They lose 2 life. You draw a card, you gain 2 life, and you create a 2/2 Knight creature token with Vigilance, then you sacrifice Doom Foretold. So, if you can force your opponent into a spot where they have nothing that they wish to sacrifice to Doom Foretold, you get a ton of value. If, unfortunately, the opponent passes back to you and your only permanent to sacrifice is Doom Foretold, you sacrifice Doom Foretold and none of the benefits happen. The opponent doesn't, for example, get to draw a card, gain 2 life, and all that. The way that works out is kind of strange, but you just end up sacrificing Doom Foretold and nothing happens if that's what it comes to. Fortunately, this deck has a lot of permanents to sacrifice, from the Golden Egg and the Guild Globe to the Oath of Kaya. So when you're filling your graveyard, sacrificing these permanents and setting up for Dance of the Manse, all the better, my dear. This deck, basically, you've got to know your list a little well to use the Fate of Wishes granted ability, as well as the Wishclaw Talisman at the right times. But as long as you do that and study your list and play it a few times to get familiar with all the cards in the sideboard that you can fetch as well, you get to do all kinds of fun things. I can't recommend this deck enough, and while I could talk about it forever, we should go play some games. So let's go. The mana's pretty much always ugly, I've learned with the deck, so keeping hands like this is just what you do. There's kind of too many basics and castles, and we're really feeling the loss of several of the lands, and we're hoping that Guild Globe just does the job. It's pretty much the only way to be here. So there is some blue and some white. What is our opponent up to? They're passing the turn. Here's my Guild Globe. What you got? A fairy duelist, so some blue-white flash shenanigans. I've seen this here and there. It's going to have an excellent matchup with us, especially for game one. Just excellent. All right. I think we'll go for the Thought Erasure, and then we can play a Godless Shrine, and Fabled Passage can make blue mana available next turn. I don't think that having the Murderous Rider available now is very good. We'll just absorb the first counter spell our opponent wants to use. Spectral Sailor. Okay, never mind. So it's a Flyers deck, no counters. We see Rally of Wings, which is a big explosive punch to the face, a Sephara that's hard to cast, a Depose that makes 2 bodies, a Dungeon Geist. All these require too much mana and can't be played. This is the most damage, but it's probably the thing we can stop the most. I think that the biggest problem is Depose Deploy. It can draw a card and make 2 bodies, which gets the opponent closer to Sephara. Dungeon Geist I'm not afraid of at all, and Rally the Wings, if we keep our life total high enough, is perfectly avoidable. So this is my take. And keeping this on top, it's a 6th land, which I don't think I need. Now we can play out the tapped Godless Shrine, and next turn Fabled Passage can make an untapped blue mana. We're not in a great position for Doom Foretold. We'll end up sacrificing it to itself because we have no other permanents hanging around. This is going to be rough. But where is Kaya's Wrath when you need it? There's a golden egg. I could resolve the Fae of Wishes, which would force my opponent to at least use a Dungeon Geist. Here they plan to draw a card with their Sailor. So let's do this. Go get a blue mana. Here, blue mana. We'll cast out our Fae of Wishes, just to have a really good blocker. I think that taking the time to play Granted drops us behind on tempo a bit more than I want to go. Even though getting something like a Cry of the Canarium could be sweet. And there's the card draw from the opponent, as predicted. And here we go. We're in a better position for Doom Foretold now. But let's see. I'm guessing our opponent will play the Dungeon Geist to tap this down, which is what we're going for. We want the opponent to commit their resources, tap out, play their big dork, their big nasty. Down to 15. Top deck Thought Erasure. So I wanted to play the Doom Foretold, but there's something to be said for Murderous Rider and Thought Erasure here, isn't there? Especially at 15, with our life total slowly dwindling. So let's get in that hand. There's the Healer's Hawk. The opponent could cast the Sephara. So we could take the Rally of Wings, or we could just let the opponent have the Healer's Hawk, and if they top deck a land, they get the Sephara. That's really bad for us. So I could just take the Hawk and continue to keep the opponent in a bad position. Yeah, just keep them low on these resources. That's good. And then we can kill the Dungeon Geist with the Murderous Rider. But let's see what our opponent does first. It's also tempting to kill the Spectral Sailor. The card is a pool of card advantage. Pretty frustrating to battle against. But it's not the most damage. Let's see if the opponent wants to go for their Rally of the Wings here. All right. Fire at will, Commander. I'm going to go for the Geist. I'm going to try to prevent as much damage as possible and not end up in rally range. Down to 11. And a Dovin. Ouch. That can be a frustrating one.
Your loss will either be a tragedy or I stand on the shoulders of giants.
So how to play it. Teferi can bounce a token. That might be just fine. Bouncing these other things isn't a big effect, and just having this on the board that the opponent would have to attack is nice. Keep the opponent's creature count low. I could attack their Dovin, but I could also save it and try to set it up to bounce the Sephara if when the opponent plays it. We could also just cast the Doom Foretold and have it on the battlefield, have it start picking off the opponent's permanents. Seems pretty strong. Seems strong. So let's give Doom Foretold a chance to shine here. And no attacks from the Fae. Just some sweet blocks. So the opponent can't sacrifice a token. That's one of the interesting things about Doom Foretold. It has to be a non-land, non-token permanent. So it's got to be one of their creatures or their planeswalker here. And this hopefully will just tie them down for a bit as they try to put together Sephara. Winged Words, good. It can reload some velocity for them. They do have a fairy, they can make a creature, they can play Sephara now, but we can bounce it. That's why we save the Teferi.
Oh, that got my blood pumping.
Are they coming? No. So the opponent plans to rally this turn. They're trying to do it all. They're going to get 3 extra damage in. I don't think that's a very good rally, but it's their play. They're doing the crafty untap my creatures, then play Sephara trick, but it leaves them, it's going to leave them on empty is what it's going to do. It's going to leave them on absolute empty, and I can kill their Dovin with the Fae of Wishes. So we give up our egg. Nice draw. We do need to hit land along the way. This can play a Murderous Rider if we wish, which gives us something to sacrifice. So does the Guild Globe. But let's start with Teferi. We know that this is something we want to do. Bounce. Another Doom Foretold. So we could play Guild Globe or Murderous Rider. I'd much rather sacrifice the Guild Globe. So we'll play this, and we'll do it before we play our land in case we draw a land that wants to enter the battlefield tapped. Okay, another blue source is fine. We are getting close to dangerous if our opponent does top deck another rally. Then we could just lose, but I still think we're doing everything we can to get the game under control. Doom Foretold will make the opponent sacrifice one of their flyers here. And let's see what they draw. How good is it? Any creature lets them replay the Sephara. That's probably the best creature they could draw. But, oh, they're attacking. They're not going to replay Sephara. All right, let's give up our Guild Globe. This is going to be very close. We can make the opponent sacrifice their Eagle and their Sailor with our second Doom Foretold. Then on our turn, we have to sacrifice 2 permanents, which probably have to be the Fae of Wishes and the Teferi. Although we can also play the Rider here, right? We can play the Rider. That gives us something else to sacrifice. Dance of the Manse is getting close. So when Doom Foretold goes off, we get 2 life. Our opponent loses 2 life. We draw a card. They discard a card, right? And we get a Knight. And then we can get it all back with Dance of the Manse, potentially. So pass, sacrifice, sacrifice. The opponent can activate the Spectral in response, and they do. But this is so close. Land. What else? Do you dare attack and give up one of your Thopters? And what are we giving up? Do we keep a Murderous Rider? It has lifelink. Oh my goodness. To 1 life. All right. Crucial triggers here. We're going to gain life if we keep the Doom Foretolds because our opponent has nothing to sacrifice. Should we keep the lifelinking attacker or the flying blocker? We're definitely going to give up to Fairy. It's which of these do we give up? We could give up the other Doom Foretold, but I really want the life, and I want the opponent to discard cards. If the opponent top decks Rally, we're going to be at 5. This can't kill me. If the opponent has a bounce spell, though, and I don't gain the life, that's pretty tragic. But I guess I could cast this. Let's give up the Fae. Tough choice. Another land. I would love to Dance of the Manse for 8 right here and get all this power and toughness back. But if we save it till next turn, we get the Doom Foretold as well, which is clutch. Here's the Rider coming in. A little bit of life boost. Enter the battlefield tapped. Say go. Doom Foretold's trigger. The opponent has to discard. I gain life. I draw. It's a big swing. So that Plains they held ends up getting discarded. The Safari gets discarded. Another card. Lots of land. And now it's your token versus my little knight army. And what's about to be a pretty silly amount of enchantments and artifacts. So do we Thought Erasure that card? Let's attack first, right? None of these like make our attack better. Two life to be gained from the Rider, of course. All right, team, prepare yourself. Enchantments in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Enchantments and artifacts, 5. So we don't need to go for 7, which is a reason to play an untapped land. We can do this for 6. All right, don't have a counterspell. It would be the first one in their deck. We haven't seen any counterspells yet. What you got? Behold! We get to draw 3 cards. The Doom Foretolds are 4/4s. And that's a scoop. Wow. Behold your doom. Hey, if you played the beta, which was everything leading up to yesterday, then you should be able to check your email and get a code for a Fibblethub avatar. So I have my code on my clipboard here. Let's go see if it works. And there you go. Let's apply our Fibblethub avatar and go do some smashing. If you were in the beta, you should have access to that. Make sure to check your email for an email from Magic Arena. The code is near the bottom. Slow hand, but it's on the play with the Teferi. Let's rock and roll. Hallowed a fountain. Hello, fountain, my old friend. Once upon a time. Risen Reef. Strong recommendation with Once Upon a Time. You don't have to cast it immediately when it's in your opening hand. It's the first spell you play in the game. So you can take your draw step and get more information about what your hand might need before you cast Once Upon a Time. Strongly recommended. It's shock to play the Globe. The sooner they're on the battlefield, the better our Doom Foretold might be. And what's our opponent got here? It's a Vivian's Arcbow. So some kind of a flashy thing. Doom Foretold can certainly manage it. Let's go ahead and pay 2 more life and run out to Fairy and try to find an untapped land so we can go straight to Doom Foretold Town.
This isn't a fight.
And I'm going to bounce the Arcbow just to set the opponent back on some mana.
Might be a bad idea.
And another dance. Not what I was looking for. I'm expecting to Oath of Kaya or Risen Reef here because there's no player who can resist the turn 3 Risen Reef. And we're glad when it doesn't ramp. Usually when a Reef ramps, things get bad. Ooh. All right. Let's do some Doom Foretold, I think. There is the chance we have to sacrifice this. The opponent plays something, sacrifices it. But we have an Oath of Kaya. So we have things to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. Doom Foretold and Oath of Kaya are peanut butter and jelly, my friends. Peanut butter and jelly. So goodbye, Reef. And now the opponent's in a tough spot. Do they play out something to try to make me sacrifice stuff, or do they just give up? They give up. But Dance of the Manse gets that Doom Foretold back, so everything going according to plan so far.
Don't worry, I got this.
Let's check our top card. Another Teferi, absolutely. We can Oath of Kaya the opponent's face. It does set up for a better Dance of the Manse, potentially. Yeah, I'll make the assertive play here. Doom Foretold goes off. They discard the Feasting Troll King, which can be reanimated if they find 3 food. That's pretty hype. It's a 7/6 Vigilant Trample that you can put directly into play from the battlefield by sacrificing 3 food tokens. It creates 3 food tokens when you cast it, but it doesn't create them when it comes back from the graveyard. So Doom Foretold, we get our Knight, we get our Drain, we get our draw. The opponent plays the Reef. And they replay the Arc Bow. So 2 sacrificial permanents. Legions end without a target. The saddest thing there is. All right, let's smash. See what the opponent does. I'm pretty sure that they'll take 2 damage. We could give up the Teferi and try to draw into a land, but I think this turn we simply want to get another Oath of Kaya on the board anyway. This puts an Oath of Kaya in the graveyard, and Oath of Kaya is a wonderful target to reanimate with Dance of the Manse. Like, the value is off the chain. Now we could also bounce this Arcbow Ranger, but I think that plussing Teferi is perfectly fine, and we'll say go. We'll have instant speed, Dance of the Manse, and Kaya's Wrath available. Although, you've got to be careful when instant speed Dance of the Mancing a Doom Foretold. You don't want yourself to be the first one taking a trigger with the card. Shifting freaking Ceratops. I bet you gain haste. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Where are you going? You going after Teferi? So there's a Drain. The Knight token could save Teferi. But Teferi would only be at 1. It's not really worth it. Not really worth it.
Hardly my worst defeat.
Worth noting, though, that the opponent is at 11. The damage is definitely stacking up. So this turn we have only 1 blue. So it's Thought Erasure, Teferi, possibly a Kaya's Wrath. We can't double spell. We could get back an Oath of Kaya, but it doesn't kill anything. I really want that Doom Foretold back, but we missed the land drop. Teferi can't bounce the Shifting Ceratops, but if history is a teacher, the Ceratops will attack us, or will attack the Teferi. So maybe we're just digging for our land here. We could bounce our Oath of Kaya and replay it. 9, 6. That's really low life total. Bouncing the Arcbow Ranger, of course, takes some mana. But I think that the play here is to bounce the Arcbow. The opponent attacking Teferi does force them to lose life to the Oath of Kaya. A Wishclaw Talisman. A tutor on a stick. For 1 mana, we can search our library for a card of our choice. The opponent will get control of the Wishclaw Talisman, of course. But what a crazy draw right here. Am I going to wish for a land? It could happen. It could happen. But our opponent is getting really close to dead. With an Oath of Kaya in the graveyard, Doom Foretold makes them lose 2 life if they can't sacrifice to it. This could get very burn you out. We have 2 Dance of the Manse. You can just cast Dance of the Manse, cast Dance of the Manse. Yep, no blocks. Who's the aggro?
Really should have seen that coming.
We have to assume our opponent has food in their deck, and you can sacrifice a food token to gain 3 life. They're playing the Troll King. There must be food. I mean, I don't go to a party unless I know there will, if food will be there. Our opponent finds a land. I think that means a Feasting Troll King might be getting cast next turn. If they wanted a 6th land so badly. All right. We drew the Thought Erasure. We still only have 1 blue source. We could give our opponent a Wishclaw Talisman and double Thought Erase them, but then they can search their library for a card of their choice. I think what we're really doing, quite honestly, is going for the W. I think we're just going to try to win the game over 2 turns here. So first we attack with our Knight. The opponent left this mana up. I think they have a Night Pack Ambusher. Otherwise, they would have played this. They may also have a Frilled Mystic. No, they don't have enough blue. Okay. So, let's put it on our opponent to gain life. Let's go for the dance. Autopay. We don't have 3 artifacts and enchantments to find, but we do have to pay 3, or else we wouldn't be able to get Oath of Kaya, because we have to get artifacts and enchantments with casting costs less than or equal to what we pay. So get the opponent to 2, draw a card. 29-2. Can they bring it all back? Can the comeback begin now? So what did you leave that mana up for? What do you have? Nothing. Doesn't seem right. Something's up. Something must be up. Risen Reef. Fabled Passage. Gilded Goose. Make a food that can gain 3 life. As long as our opponent leaves the mana up, and they do. Murderous Rider, the draw. Still can't hit land. We should probably exile the Goose so that the gaining life isn't really an option. Is there some other way to get 2 damage through? I don't think so. I could Wishclaw for a Teferi and bounce Wishclaw. That is an option. If the opponent attacked the Teferi, then they would die to the Oath of Kaya. I could Wishclaw for another Oath of Kaya and cast it. The opponent gains life, but that's not good enough. I mean, yeah, let's go in with the Legion's End. We don't want the opponent generating more food tokens. Wow, Arkbow, Ceratops City. Okay, they have this 1 food token. What do we take from them? We could take their troll. I think that is a worthy take. The Ceratopses are scary. But the troll making the food is the real no thank you. And we don't need another Kaya's Wrath. We need to draw land, which has continued to be an issue. And we could Wishclaw, give it to our opponent, but I think that's a really bad play here. Maybe the right play that turn was just to Dance of the Manse, force the opponent to sack their food, and then next turn Wishclaw for the last Oath of Kaya. Maybe that was the play. Could have been lethal a turn sooner, which, you know, this could cost me. Here comes Arkbow. There is 5 mana available. And no blocks. How's it gonna be? There's another land. Dance of the Manse can get back a Doom Foretold, or we can just play another Doom Foretold. Can also get back an Oath of Kaya. Let's take their Ceratops away. I mean, is Thought Erasure really good now that the Arkbow's online? Probably not. Probably very important to have Murderous Rider available. I could kill this and try to get in there. And if I do, Oath of Kaya does become lethal. But I don't think that's it either. This is a really tough game. Let's go for the dance. Oops, hold on. Let's first sacrifice this for white, blue. And then let's do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. That way we get to draw an extra card off the globe. Attack there. Let's go face, as opposed to going after the reef, because Arkbow is likely to put a blocker in front of the knight no matter what. The opponent might have had to sacrifice something else, of course. But yeah, let's not throw away the token. We might need it. Here's an ambusher. Okay. Sacrifice a permanent. What's it gonna be? We've got the opponent at 2. They need to gain life. Otherwise, we can fetch our last Oath of Kaya with the Talisman, and that's game. Here they come. Here they might come. No blocks. Plenty of life. What are we sacrificing? The Oath of Kaya? Yeah. Don't need the Oath of Kaya. We also don't need the globe. Let's just give the globe up. Oath might protect a planeswalker. Alright. At 2 life, could they weasel out of it somehow? I could Thought Erase first. Let's start there. They still have the Arc Bow. I don't know what they have that might gain life upon entering the battlefield. Getting a Gilded Goose makes a food token. Maybe that's the way. We'll grab the other Ambusher. Another Rider seems fine, but we're going to shuffle anyway. Throwing this in the graveyard doesn't do anything for me. Alright, Talisman. Oath of Kaya. Your face. So the opponent needs to find a Gilded Goose and sacrifice it. Sacrifice the food it might make. And they're going for it. And they miss. Alright, we are on the draw. Our hand is slow, but our effects are decent, and we'll see if we're dead before anything bad happens or not. We'll see what happens. We'll keep the land. That at least we drew a Kaya's Wrath, we can reset the board, but that's a lot of shock land. A lot of shock land. And here's a Robber of the Rich. Goodbye, land that we kept on top. Scryland get wrecked. No, I'm not going to run out the Wishclaw Talisman. I'm not going to pay 2 life for the privilege of Wishclawing. So, Robber of the Rich, exile the top card, and you can play it any turn you attacked with a rogue. So far, the opponent's hit 2 land, so that doesn't help them much. And here's a Runaway Steamkin. Looks like the opponent might have a shock. Let's get Oath of Kaya down. And let's kill the Robber, I think. Letting the opponent get to a place where they can cast our cards against us. Our cards aren't particularly good, but like if they hit me with an Oath of Kaya or something like that, it can be a real problem. And we can reset the Steamkin. I'm not as scared of Steamkin as I used to be. The Wizards package, Get to Lava Runner, Wizards Lightning, those cards with Steamkin were absolutely busto. The new version is much slower. Alright. Opponent continues to annoy me, and they hit a Murderous Rider, which, that can be frustrating. That is a card they can play any turn that they attack with a rogue. And now our opponent's thinking about whether or not to deploy another creature or light up the stage, probably, and here's the stage. They don't hit land, so there's a Bonecrusher Giant, which they can play. That is a 4/3, a 3-mana 4/3, and there's a Chandra. Either one is a good, either one, the Doom Foretold, can wreck pretty well. So we might, if I bounce the Steamkin, the opponent will probably play the Chandra and then attack the Teferi, lose 2 life. I think we just want to Wrath. I think Wrathing here sets up Doom Foretold to be better. Because if the opponent taps out, plays Chandra, Doom Foretold is an excellent answer. And instead it's Bone Crush Your Face. There must be another light up the stage or something. A Dodger. Okay. Fabled Passage comes off the top. The Wishclaw Teferi team is definitely setting itself up for success. This turn, I believe, is Doom Foretold. Even if they're only sacrificing a 1/1, it's a good play. Because when this thing finally does go off, we get so much advantage. Giving up the Oath of Kaya sucks, though. I'm not going to lie. But I think we have to. And then we will use Temple of Silence to try to scry to something juicy. Another Kaya's Wrath. Well, something has to kill Bonecrusher Giant, and this is a very playable spell. Plus, if the opponent finds another Robber of the Rich, that doesn't, Akaya's Wrath won't play very well for them. So does the opponent take the turn off? I'll have to sacrifice Oath of Kaya, but then I do have Teferi that I can play, and a Wish Claw Talisman I can bounce. Yep, they take the turn off to skewer my face. So this turn, we'll start with a Fabled Passage, because we know we want all the mana. We'll go get... I don't think it really matters what we get here. Another blue source, I suppose. We'll play this Teferi. Which, remember, if our opponent attacks with a rogue, they have access to a Murderous Rider, so may not go that well. Here's my Wishclaw Talisman. We'll activate the Wishclaw Talisman. Search our library for a card. Against red, I feel like the best answer has to be Oath of Kaya, but with one in the graveyard and Doom Foretold about to be in the graveyard, it's got to be Dance of the Manse. Now we will activate Teferi, target Wishclaw Talisman, return it to our hand. Haha. And now, your turn, opponent. With nothing to sacrifice, the opponent has to discard, we get 2 life, we get a knight, we get a draw. The value. The pure, beautiful value. Bone Crusher returns. Murderous Rider off the top. Handful of gas. Here's a plus.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Let's use Dance of the Manse. Oh wait, hold on. First, we can play the Guild Globe and sacrifice it? No, we can't. We would have had to already have it on the field. Dance of the Manse getting back Doom Foretold and Oath of Kaya seems so good. I'm just gonna go for it. I can always fetch another dance later. Auto pay. So we could take this out, or we could let the Doom Foretold kill it and then send the Oath back to our graveyard, which I think is just better. So we'll go face. We'll go face. Hello? Not letting me. Do I have a disconnect? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what do I do? No! No, 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 no! High drama! Get back in there! No, 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 no! I had this game. I have this freaking game. Come on. What happens to the Oath of Kaya target if my timer runs out? Where's the game? We were ranked, what, 334? Now we're ranked 271. We won! Great finish. Great finish to a game. Yay. So some people ask me why I leave this stuff in. I leave this in because you all need to know that, 1, it happens to everyone, and 2, that it happens at all. That's all I'm going to say. Two tap lands on the draw with a Wishclaw Talisman that's terminally slow. Don't know that I can keep this, but we do get 2 draws and a scry to try to find an untapped land. We just don't have a lot of early interaction. It's such a mystery hand. It is a high-quality Doom Foretold, though. Against a red mage, we could be dead really fast. Oh well. Let's do it. Green. Goose. Let the party begin. Alright, untapped land is really all I'm looking for in life, and we found it. Hallelujah. It's not an Oko. It's a troll. Alright. Could have been a lot worse. Kaya's Wrath is looking shiny. Let's get the Gilded Globe down to make it so that we can cast our Kaya's Wrath off all kinds of funky mana, including this island. And there's an egg. Next turn is looking like another pretty mediocre turn, but let's see what the opponent does. Blast Zone? That implies me a Nissa deck. So, Murderous Rider really needs to kill a Nissa. Oh my. my god, the pain. So we could pay 2 life to Murderous Rider this, but I don't think that's a good play. So here's the golden egg, and we're going to be hurting. It's not gonna feel good, but I don't think the opponent can't Nissa next turn, so that's Mr. Brightside talking. We can play this tap to avoid shocking next turn. Fabled Passage will get us an untapped land. At this point, it certainly needs to be a swamp. We can sacrifice our golden eggs for food, which might come up at this point. 7 damage puts us at 6. A Hydra as well. The opponent is going for broke. Super duper green over here. We're so close to dead, especially if the opponent has Nissa. I don't know if I can walk the tightrope, but we're going to try. Fetch the black mana, untap it. Kaya's Wrath. We can pay with the egg or the globe. We want to pay with the globe. Auto pay right now is suggesting the egg, so we can't do that. So here we go. Black, white. Fix our colors, blow up the board. Another questing beast would also be a bit of a pain. Okay, Kroll Harpooner. Probably the best case scenario we could hope for. Something small that we can kill. So we have the land. I think what I like here is playing Oath of Kaya and another food. We could also play Doom Foretold, but it would require us to sacrifice our food, which we may want later. Doom Foretold is a card that can take out any permanent. I think I like being more mana efficient. This also gains life, of course. And then we'll play our other egg and draw a card. 9 is a lot safer than 6, so I don't feel a need to hold the mana up to sacrifice an egg right now. I do feel a need to hit land drops and get further ahead. Is it Nissa? It is always Nissa. Let the world shake. So Doom Foretold can take out Nissa. The opponent will have to sacrifice it. The sad part is we get hit by this, because it says a non-land, non-token permanent. So we still have to deal with this somehow. We could also Murderous Rider the Nissa, but then we still don't have an answer. So it does seem like Rider is going to have to hit this at some point. We may as well play Doom Foretold. And do a Scryland, I'm guessing. Then what happens? We get hit for 3. If the opponent has a second Nissa and a land, we die. No, they just need the second Nissa. Because they can reanimate. No, it would have counters. Thinking. Brain. Brain hurt. Yeah. So maybe we do pay 2 life for the opportunity to pay 3. Yeah, okay. So Doom Foretold, pay 2 life. We're sacrificing an egg now no matter what. We're priced in, but that can get us to 7 so that we don't lose to a double Nissa. We do lose to a questing beast, which there was no good way around that. The opponent's trying to give up a land, they can't. It's Nissa or bust, bro. It's Nissa or bust, my friend. It has to be Nissa. Yep, opponent finds it. So here I'm thinking of sacrificing my Oath of Kaya. It makes Dance of the Manse a really good draw, because then we can get the Oath back and get 3 life. Go to 1. 1 is not 0, friends. If the opponent plays another permanent, then the Doom Foretold goes off. Oh my goodness. They did have it. All right. Well, let's gain our 3 life before we forget. We're gonna need it. They did have it. I need another Kaya's Wrath. But I have the Talisman. An untapped land can get it for me. An untapped land can get me there. I can go up to 7. I can live another turn. I can sacrifice 2 eggs. Let's scry first. Oh my. I can't get rid of this though. I forgot something. I missed something crucial. I missed something crucial. This Gilded Goose, the opponent can sacrifice to the Doom Foretold, which leaves me dead. If I play Murderous Rider and block, what happens? I go up to 6, 7, 8, 9. That's survival? Play it as a lifelinker. I guess I have to sacrifice this to go to 7, so that's the only way to do it. All right, your turn. Still fighting. The Doom Foretold's gonna sacrifice next turn, but then I can get it back, along with an egg, an oath, a doom, and another egg. So that will get the Nissa. And then the other doom goes off, so I have a blocker for one of the creatures. Oath of Kaya kills another one. Am I still in this game? Wishclaw Talisman for Legion's End can kill the forests. Uh-huh. What else you got? Our opponent's going to put a counter on their blast zone? Sure. Could be annoying, could come up big later. Right now, I just need to survive. Opponent's proving that their number 40 rank is no joke. They've drawn well, they've played well. Three life, please. We needs it, my precious. 1 is not 0. Doom Foretold is going to go to the graveyard, but then I will get it back. So I have to sacrifice Doom Foretold to itself. It sucks. It's sadness. It's the worst. So 5. Do I have 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I sure do. Doom Foretold makes this go bye-bye. But I don't gain the life. I guess if I go for 4... Let's see. What I need... So I won't have the blocker because I only have 1 Doom. So I need to do this for 4. And then what I need to do is draw an untapped land and make 1 more play or be able to sacrifice an egg. We could do the Wishclaw Talisman play for Legion's End, but then we can't gain the life. All right. Must be you, can be you, should be you. Untapped land. Come on, buddy. Get me there. We get 2 draws. Miss. Hit, but not hit enough. It's just shock land. But it's 2 life for a 3rd life. Was that good enough? I go down to 4. I go up to 7. 1 is not 0. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now I have the Teferi to go with the Talisman. Opponent might be thinking about activating Blast Zone while they still have their Nissa on the battlefield. But that takes wins like Questing Beast or another Nissa off the... So this is destroying everything at cost 2, so we need to sacrifice this for life. That's fine. That's not that bad. I still have an Oath to sacrifice to my own Doom Foretold. Nissa is dead and my opponent tapped some land, so... Some of those potential wins taken off the field by their own blast zone, down to 1. But they're all in. It's a bold play, that's for sure. Another Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Show me the Legion's End. Exile all of the forests. They have a converted mana cost of 0. Opponent sacrifices their food token for life. Exile 2 forests. Voracious Hydra is going to sit in the hand. Teferi Time Raveler. Return the Wishclaw Talisman to my hand. Say go. Doom Foretold goes off. Discard your Hydra. I gain 2. You lose 2. I make a knight. You're down to 2 land. Have we stolen it back?
Here we go.
So now we want to close quickly. We want to play the Wishclaw. We want to search for Dance of the Manse, and then we want to bounce it back. We need to not die to a hasty thing like a Questing Beast. This has 3 on it, by the way. But I can't activate it.
Let's slow this down.
All right. Let's go get Dance of the Manse. There you are. Let's go ahead and bounce you. Let's play our Scryland. Oath of Gaia, absolutely. Let's play our egg to draw a card. Swing with our Vigilant Knight. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be 6. We can do it at instant speed. Although the Doom Foretold we pretty much want right away. But the opponent has a Blast Zone on 3, so they can kill some of our things, but not all of them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can play another egg. Then we can sacrifice it for mana. Dance can do the job. Off the top, what is it? Another land. Opponent running out of gas down the stretch. Let's go ahead and sacrifice this for white. Sacrifice this for blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't want Doom Foretold here because we'd have to sacrifice a permanent. It's not really what I'm going for. Blast Zone on 3 won't kill all of the golden eggs. The army of golden eggs is coming for the crown. Triggers. Yeah. Not a lot else to be done here. Except to swing for the victory and say, I agree, my friend, good game. That was a tough match. And kudos, Cornmeal, Master Wigard, wherever you are. Thanks for the game. You hyped? You hyped, little buddy? I hope that you enjoyed this video with Esper Dance. It is, without question, one of my favorite decks in a while. And when it comes to Esper, this is the kind of playstyle that for me is so much more fun than counter spells and so much more fun than hand disruption, even though like my heart is in control, just kind of doing these goofy things with artifacts is better. Is it possible Wizards knew what they were doing with Little Teferi to get us to play ridiculous decks like this? I guess we'll see. We'll see how much my opponents hate it. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to check out Brian Gottlieb and the Arena Decklist podcast and Twitter account. I can't recommend them highly enough. They've helped me be a better Magic player and stay in touch with the meta. Strongly strongly recommended. Jerry Thompson is the amazing co-host with Brian Gottlieb on that podcast. Fabulous player, excellent person. So I want to send you in that direction. Arena, Decklist, podcast. Give them some support. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.